Really nice to see you guys. Really nice to see you. You're looking good.
Yeah.
Are you as good as you look?
Give him a thumbs up. Give him a thumbs up.
Yeah. What I learned about the people from Liverpool, the first thing I heard, by the way, when I came to Liverpool, that a scouser is an Irishman or woman who can swim. So that's what people told me. And so we are probably closer to Ireland than each other city in England ever was. So that was for sure is not an issue. That's either rather benefit. And so that's the club. That's what this club is built on. That's what Bill Shankly was heart and soul of. And that's what we really want to keep until today. So in all the things in modern life what changed, these kind of things, they have to stay like this. That in oh my God, I know now I come to You Never Walk Alone, but when it's rainy, when it's dark, when all these kind of things happen, then you need support, then you need friends. And that's what for us is 100% clear. And it's for me easy to be the face of that, because everybody in this club breathes that, eats that, and is exactly like that. So I knew before I came here that it's the right decision. Meanwhile, I know it's the perfect decision. It was the perfect decision, and not for the success we had, just for the things I learned about relationships, for the things I learned about life and love. And so I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really happy to be here today with Family Cox. So.
Jürgen, before you took on the job as Liverpool manager, obviously you would have known an awful lot about the tradition and success of the club. But did you know much about the connection to Ireland? And what do you make of the numbers who travel on a regular basis to matches in Anfield in just the way that Sean did on that fateful night?
And they don't swim anymore, hopefully. So, no, I had no idea about that, to be honest. I've never thought about it, to be honest, where the majority of Liverpool supporters are coming from or stuff like this. No, I knew about the football and the history. When you are not directly involved and you're not a lifelong supporter, which I cannot say I was that, because I grew up in Black Forest in Germany, so my club was Stuttgart. But then you know all the nice stories, and you hear about the lesser nice stories as well, but from far, they are never as serious as they are when you are really involved. That's what I can say. So I had no idea, but I'm happy, really happy to experience it now. And so my favorite games, or two of my favorite games for Liverpool, were the friendlies at Dublin. So it was just great to play there. Thank you, Ireland, I said after one press conference, I think. It felt in that moment exactly like that, because we were so welcomed in that city. But I heard, meanwhile, some of the Irish people are Man United fans as well. So no place in the world is perfect, obviously.
And there are some who are Leeds fans and other clubs as well, it has to be said. But Jürgen...
Really?
Yes, definitely.
I didn't know that Ireland is that big.
Can I ask you maybe to go back to April 2018, because a very big night in Anfield, a tremendous victory against Roma in the European Champions League that night. How and when did you discover what had happened to Sean?
It was obviously after the game. I don't remember exactly which day it was. I think it was I not the night of the game, the next day. And it was one of these very, very strange moments where you tend to fly because you won an important football game, 5-2 against Rome, and then you hear that this wonderful event was kind of the reason for this, and I was really, I don't have the right words for it, but I didn't feel I felt immediately how little importance football has in life in these moments, and I was completely in it, wanted to know everything, what I could know, and obviously nobody could tell me a lot, because it were the first days were pretty much very, very serious. Obviously, the family could come over then, and all these kind of things. That was much more important, and I got the information. So we were all waiting for each little bit what we what we could hear about. And I always hated each kind of fights around football games. I never understood that, never for a little bit. I watched football games when I was a kid. I was in stadium in Germany and all this. It always happened from time to time, not always, but it happened. And so not being involved in something like this was one of the most important things when you went to a football game. But here, it was obviously not to avoid because of some people. And so I felt so much. And it was for me, this day I don't remember very well, but I remember the day when I heard the first time that Sean is doing well, better and better and better. And when I heard that he will come over to Liverpool and to Anfield, actually, I was really excited. I was really excited to meet him and about all the progress and all these kind of things. That is much more, in my mind, a day I have much better memories of.
And I will come to that again in a moment, Jürgen, but I am fascinated by the way Liverpool took on such responsibility, because what happened to Sean wasn't Liverpool's responsibility. It happened outside the ground. Liverpool couldn't be responsible for the violent behaviour of these Roma fans. And yet the club decided it was the ethical and correct thing to do, to become involved in providing as much support as possible to Sean and his family, and to do that for a lengthy period of time. Tell me a little bit about the thinking at Liverpool as to why that was done.
Look, I think it would be now. I'd like to think each club would have done it. I'm here since 5 years now, and I learn every day a little bit more how special this club is. But I think every club would have reacted. But all the people around Liverpool, for us, how I can say, meanwhile, I think that's really special. That the history of this club, with a lot of downs and a lot of highs and some downs, showed always when times are really difficult, then we all stick even closer together. And that's one of the parts I love most about the club and the city. And this was a moment when I was not for a second in doubt that we all maybe not feel responsible for what happened, but responsible what will happen from now on. We feel responsible for what will happen from now on, and that we all try to help as much as we can. And by the way, just for you, Sean and Martina, that's still like this. You hope you know that. And whatever you need, and when no authority in this country or in your country can help, I think we always can find a way where we can make things maybe easier. And we still feel this. It's like friendship. It's like family. It's like we really have to do these things because you want to do these things, and that's the moment when a club has to show real unity, because it's not about who is responsible for it. It's about who helps after what happened. And I'm really happy, but it's much more important that hopefully Martina and John and the family is happy about how the club dealt with it. But very important is that it will not stop. As long as this club exists, these things have to happen exactly like that.
Indeed, I know that if it hadn't been for COVID-19, you had intended to travel to Ireland for the book launch, and we would love to have seen you, and I'm sure everybody looks forward to having you over and seeing the Coxes and another opportunity in the future. But you are an esteemed leader at this stage, and you talk about leadership, but one thing that strikes me from the book, leadership from Peter Moores as well, as chief executive and what he did. But the leadership shown by Martina, how inspiring do you find that, in the way that she just went about in doing everything that was required for Sean? It may not be going to win a Premier League title or a Champions League title, but there's a victory, isn't there, in what she's actually managed to achieve with Sean?
I know I'm 53 years old, and I know since I can think that my mother was the best leader ever I met in person for the longest time, because she put everything together, what the whole chaos at home. So it was always clear that women are the much better leaders than men ever can be. Yes, you don't get the big trophies maybe, but that's not too important for these kind of leaders, because they don't want trophies. They want just that everything is going well. Family is most important, and I love that part of life. That's what all the kids should feel every day, that whatever happens out there, when you come home and your mom is there and tells you it's all not as hard as it feels in a moment, that these are the most important moments in life, actually, and they all build us. So, and Martina knows it 100%. The family is really proud of her and what she's doing there, and she's a proper role model for me. I'm really happy that we met and that I could be a little part of that story. And I hope you know what an incredible job you are doing.
Martina, how important was that night to you and Seán and your children, the opportunity to go back to Anfield? Very emotional for you, but to get such a welcome that night.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously was very emotional because, you know, Seán was going back in a, you know, we were bringing him back. He was in a wheelchair, you know, different circumstances, but at the same time, it was great that he was actually getting there, all of us as a family. I was actually going to see a match again, which we, at some point, you know, down the line, we didn't know whether that was ever going to happen. And to see his reaction was just amazing. He loved it. And, you know, it was such a special day from the minute we got there till we left that night.
And Liverpool did an enormous amount, didn't they, Martina? Going back even to Kenny Dalglish visiting you at the hospital to see how you were getting on when Seán was in intensive care, keeping in touch with you afterwards, and then things like Jürgen and the players going to hug Seán after the game. Yeah,
just, you know, yeah, I mean, we met Kenny in the coffee shop and, yeah, I mean, he kind of quietly came in and it was really, he was there kind of supporting us. Seán was still, you know, in a coma at that stage. You know, it was very early days, but yeah, they kept in touch all the time. And look, it was really good, really, really good.
And you got a lovely letter, Martina, from Jürgen, which is reproduced in the book as well, which I thought was very touching. And he said something in it which is also used in the foreword to the book, that football is the most important of the least important things, which was a lovely saying. But it is very true, isn't it, that it is very important to Seán and it has been very important to his recovery.
Absolutely, absolutely key to his recovery, you know. But having the support of the club has been, like, fantastic. Really, you know, really good. And, you know, it's ongoing and we know that they're going to be there for Seán, and that's very reassuring.
It's a good job, Jürgen, that you managed to see out victory in the league. Seán was watching on television when the crowds weren't there. Like so many fans had to watch it on television and took such enormous enjoyment out of it. But tell me a little bit, I mean, how much do you miss now having the crowds at games, that sense of community for the most important of least important things?
When you see me being involved in the game and how pretty much I block out everything. So I'm really a normal person, which has a couple of things to do over the day. Can be concentrate on this and on that. During a game, I can't. Obviously, I'm in the game. So it's because of the importance of the game for all of us involved in the stadium. So I miss probably fans more than anybody on this planet misses fans, to be honest, because I only love this game so much because it is so important to so many people. That's what affected me as a kid when everybody was talking about it, and I thought it's the most important thing in the world. And when I grew up, I realized, yeah, there are some more important things. But there are 90 minutes a week where we can at least act like nothing else is that important. So I really, really miss the supporters. But on the other hand, to be honest, when I think about the history of Liverpool, it would have been kind of strange if this would be just easy going, becoming champions, celebrating together and all that stuff. There was no drama involved really. And we were 7 match days before the end, we were champion. And so obviously to make it really special again, we had to celebrate. Somebody gave us the opportunity to celebrate it at home, alone, all in the same circumstances. Usually you have 60,000 in the stadium. You have maybe the next day, if you then have the parade, there are another 400,000 or 500,000 in the city or even more. But there are still, the majority of the people who are with us are still at home. And this time we all had to be at home pretty much. And so that makes it special again. I only won twice the championship with Dortmund. But to be 100% honest, I cannot, in my memories, because it was the year after the other, I don't know exactly which was 2000, what happened, and what I remember was 2011 and what was 2012. But I will not forget for 1 second what happened when we became champion in 2020 with Liverpool. And that makes it really, really special. I wanted to have my family around, but even when they were not around, we were together. And that makes it special as well, because you just realize in a moment like this how much they all mean to you, how much you want them to be here. And so you can even make of this situation not the best, but you can pick something good out of it. Let me say it like this. But I can't wait. I can't wait until life changes back to kind of normal. And I will probably, if any vaccine is out, I will be probably the first who takes it or whatever. And okay, not the Russian version, but other versions. And then we will, and then that we just, I'm really desperate. It's long enough now. I'm ready to go back to normal, if you want, and bring all the people back in the stadium and let people go out. I wanted to come over for the book launch, right? So that's not possible. In a moment when COVID is gone, hopefully soon, I will come over. All the people who buy the book will then get a signing.
Brilliant. Terrific.
But they have to come back then or buy a new one. So I only sign in new books then.
That's terrific. We'll hold you to that promise. It's a fantastic promise. But knowing what you in Liverpool have done, we have no doubt that it will be honoured. Jürgen Klopp, thank you so much for your time.
All the best. All the best. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.